and welcome to the Staunch. My name is Mrs Mahogo. I am so excited for you to be joining me. And to kick this season off, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, fashion and business. And to help us shed some light on the topic is none other than the also vibrant, also colorful RUN JHB designers, King and Ndlumbini. So we're going to take a short ad break and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back, and as promised, we have the also vibrant, also colorful RUN JHB designers to help us shed some light on the topic for today, fashion and business. King and Ndlumbini, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Okay. To start off, just give us a brief history of who King and Ndlumbini are. Where do you come from? And how did you get into the fashion business?
Okay, so my name is Wandile King Leeu. I'm the co-founder of the streetwear brand called RUN JHB, and I have my partner here.
My name is Ndlumbini. My co-partner is Gabhadiya as well. And I'm also the other half of RUN JHB. And just to answer the question where we come from, I was born in Soweto, but then again raised in Tembisa. And yeah, that's where I grew up. I'm a Tembisa. I'm a Tembisa man, you know? Yeah.
Okay. And myself, on the other hand, I regard myself as a Soweto boy because I was born there, but I did my schooling years in Pietermaritzburg, and I obviously then came back to do my varsity here, so I've been here ever since. So Soweto and Tembisa representing.
Yeah. So, getting into the fashion industry, where did the whole love for fashion start? Is it something that you wanted to do from the word go, or is it something that you grew to love from seeing the fashion in the streets? Because I believe your brand is inspired by the streets and just local people. So where did the whole idea of becoming fashion designers come from?
Okay. We went to varsity, so we met up in varsity. This is where the whole brand was established at UJ. So shout out to UJ. How did the whole passion for fashion come about? So we used to be people that were very cool and funky and stylish on campus. So in essence, we used to dress up every day to go to school, you know. So that was a passion that we got, that I had from when I was growing up in the township. If you weren't good at soccer, DJing, we all wanted attention from the girls. So one of the ways in which you could have gotten attention from girls or your peers, or respected, that was the way in which you dress up, you know. So obviously coming up to UJ, we wanted to also show and represent wherever you come from, and that would obviously be in the manner in which you dress. So we'd obviously dress to campus on almost a daily occasion. So we then started getting a lot of notice from other students, and they'd come up to us and ask, are you guys fashion designers? Where do you get this dress sense from, you know? And so that kind of planted ideas in our heads, you know. So it was something that grew from just being a passion that we used to exercise on a daily basis, going to campus, to something that, as young people that could dress up and got a lot of attention from our peers, it also goes to your head. So it kind of got into our heads to an extent where how the brand was established, we wanted to just have t-shirts that would have "We Run UJ," you know.
Oh, okay. Hence we run JHB.
Yeah, so we then thought, okay, if that's going to be the case, then it's obviously going to be something that's only for us to wear, because we were noticed on campus, and it wasn't just only the two of us. It was a young crew of ourselves and the friends that we had, you know. So from there we thought, nah, this is a little cocky. If we wanted to be serious about it, then we had to come up with a proper concept. This is then when we said, okay, how about we call the brand RUN JHB, because we thought this is not just only a UJ thing. We thought further than that. We thought outside of campus, outside of Joburg, so this is when the brand was conceived. We had the idea to say RUN JHB, and then my partner here will tell you more.
Yeah, and from there on, that's when we sort of like started concept proofing, because we had the name, and how the name came about, like my player partner over here said, it was mainly about that, celebrating Johannesburg as a city, because we wanted to sort of like come up with a brand that's inclusive of everyone that's in Johannesburg. And we looked at what brings people to Joburg, what Joburg is known for, and Joburg is known for that dream chasing, cocaine mentality, whereby people flock from various parts of SA and even the world just to come up to Johannesburg to sort of like make their dreams a reality, So that's how the concept came about, to say the brand is going to be called RUN JHB, just to celebrate that mindset, of dream chasing and cocaine, and from there on, we went out and sort of like searched for avenues as to how we can bring the concept to life, and what we do is we went to a guy, a graphic designer that did the logo for us, and we registered the company, even the brand as a trademark, and from there on we would walk around campus with like a piece of paper that had like an outline of a t-shirt with our logo in it, and asking like our fellow peers, fellow students, to say to them, if we were to develop such a concept, were you going to be interested in it? And this is how the concept, this is pretty much the reasoning behind the concept, and people loved it and told us, gave us like thumbs up at the time, because they didn't want to disappoint us, and from there on we saw that, okay, we got the vote of confidence from our peers, why not obviously start manufacturing our first batch. But then again, at the time, because we didn't have the know-how of how to sort of like come up with your own clothing brand and whatnot, because he was studying marketing at the time and I was doing retailing, so there's no manufacturing background that we had, or even design background, so we went out to, because I've always loved like street brands and followed like street brands such as I'm a Cool Kid, Bhutan and Head Honcho, and like at the time it was relatively easy when you are to enter the market to sort of like position yourself as a hip-hop brand, because at the time hip-hop was booming, and that's one avenue that sort of like represented the streetwear movement, so we went out and bought a couple of plain t-shirts, caps, printed on them, and took it around campus, and people bought here and there, our friends and whatnot. But fast forward to when we graduated around 2013, this is when we went out to the market to really now try and push the brand. And when we got to the market, we realized that we can't be a Me Too product as well, just having t-shirts that are branded around Johannesburg.
You have to have something
something
people can identify.
with substance, and we looked at the whole streetwear movement, street brands that are born in South Africa, and most of them were done with the concept of like a lot of Western influence or Asian influence aesthetic. So with us, we wanted to bring it back home. This is when we started to looked at various traditional cultures, because people that come up to Johannesburg is people that come up to Johannesburg because they have a certain dream or target that they want to achieve, goal that they want to achieve, of which that brings them to Johannesburg, But having said that, those people come from different traditional backgrounds, and where do those traditional backgrounds meet, the diversity of those cultures, they meet up in Johannesburg, So we wanted to sort of like represent each and every person that's in Johannesburg, their cultural background. So this is when we started celebrating South African culture, African culture. We looked at township street cultures like Iskotani, Spantula, like relatively street subcultures that were born in like relative South African townships, and we wanted to celebrate that, but then do it in a manner that was going to be relevant when it comes to like urban or global fashion trends, you know, because we are progressive people as much as we want to be African, but even the designs need to show that we live in a global village, you know. We want people from abroad to also identify with our cultures this side, you know. So that's pretty much how the whole concept of the brand to what it was to what it is now came about, you know.
Is that what inspired the prints that you guys use on the clothing? The Lokshin culture, Umswengo and all of that?
Yeah, okay, what inspires the patterns and the kind of style that we put out is obviously the kind of people that are represented that are here in Johannesburg. So those people obviously represent different traditional cultures in which they come from, wherever they come from, you know. And Johannesburg on its own also has its own, like, your street subcultures, which you'd call Skota, Mswengo and whatnot.
Yeah.
So in essence, we try and represent all these people that come from different cultural backgrounds. But in doing that, we don't only make your traditional garments, we make them new age, you know. So that's what kind of inspired the clothing we make, you know. For an example, I have clothes, I have sutu. So right here I'm wearing a bit of shweshwe, which represents the sutu side. My partner as well, you know. We all have different cultures that we come from, so we try and represent all of those and make them new age, make them Mswengo.
Okay, so with all these colors that are representing these beautiful different South African cultures, how do you then market this brand to your clients which are not necessarily African per se? Because we've seen that you've had some of the biggest clients, for example, Swiss, the hip hop artist, Swiss Beats. So how do you market such a brand to someone like that?
So it's not necessarily about the marketing, you know. Of course, sometimes it is about the marketing, but as far as this case is concerned, it's people that come down to South Africa looking for priced products that they can find that would remind them of Johannesburg, you know, or they would remind them of their stay in the city, or whatever the cultures that they found here, you know. So we happen to be that product that a person from America or France or whatever, whenever they visit Johannesburg, they say, you know what, if they've seen or come across our product, that's a product that I want to take back home because it's so bright, it's so colorful, it just shows the kind of spirit that Johannesburg is about, just shows the kind of cultures that Johannesburg is about. And it also says I run JHB, you know, so it just says I come from JHB. So in essence, for those few reasons, that's why I guess our product is relevant to the international audience, because whenever they come down here, they're looking for something that's authentically South African. They're looking for something
back home.
They're also looking for something that would say I actually come from JHB, and our brand, as you can see, I don't choose.
So with that point, what would you say have been some of your biggest highlights in your career so far?
Man, we've been in the game for quite some time now, right? And with that being said,
there's plenty now.
There's plenty now, you know, and because we've sort of like managed to achieve like most of the goals that we had for the brand, you know. And first and foremost was to sort of like be recognized by Design Indaba, of which we got last year, where Design Indaba was emerging top 40 in the country. And from there on, we trust some of the big names locally in terms of mainstream. We did Shoma Josie, the Huku video. We did No Rush with DJ Tira, like people that we've always wanted to work with, you know, we've worked with. And we did like a lot of not mainstream fashion shows, you know, and to eventually doing like the SA Fashion Week, you know, getting co-signed by them. It was, and obviously one of the biggest ones, it's Swiss Beats, Tachina Arnold's, and Anthony Hamilton have also wear our gear, and those are the people that we grew up, sort of like seeing on TV and being inspired by them, and now actually being in a space or in a position to see them wearing our stuff.
Yeah.
It was like quite an achievement for us, and
if I can just go back,
yeah.
Tichina Arnold, for most people maybe wouldn't know who she is, but I mean they know, but they wouldn't know her name. So Tichina Arnold is the lady that plays Chris's mom on Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to clear that.
Yeah.
So we're to write that.
So you mentioned Shoma Josie, and the music video went on to win at the Summers 25.
Yeah.
How was that for you guys, and how did the partnership come about?
So tell you a funny little story about it. Just a day before, no, actually on the day of the Summers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Apparently, the people that were styling the video knew of us, and then they sent some people like your stylist and your assistant stylist to come and speak to us. That so guys, we're shooting a Shoma Josie music video.
Yeah.
Aesthetic and aesthetic apparel.
Which
wanted
was
to work with us.
So, which I mean was something that we were delighted to do, because even before then we had been looking to track down Shoma Josie, to
tagging her on Instagram, every social platform,
Staunch.
to try and get her attention,
Yeah.
So I mean, she came our way through the styling game of the music video, which we did, right?
Yeah.
And then thereafter, I think we did quite a lot of things with her team. We've dressed her to Dubai, we've dressed her for like MTV, we've dressed her for a number of things. So fast forward to the day of the Summers. So we just at our shop chilling. Then there's people that come in. So this one white guy just walks through and he's like in love with our garments,
Yeah.
So he didn't really mention it. So the guy that he was with, when the other guy moved, he let us in on the secret that, guys, this is the guy that shot the video.
Oh my god.
So we weren't even on set.
Yeah.
So we had never met the guy. So he was there looking. Actually wanted some of our garments,
something cool to
wear
wear to the Summers.
Wow.
And that was the day when we met to say, guys, I loved your gear. I was the guy that shot the video. So when he left, we were all just crossing fingers, hoping the video wins, which it did. So yeah, man. I mean, Shoma Josie, we could be dressing her for this weekend's performances. Because we were speaking to people yesterday, they're supposed to come in today.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be performing at the Durban July and most other things. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, Shoma Josie.
Shout out to Shoma Josie and supporting local designers. So what would you say have been some of the challenges that you've faced having to work as partners? Obviously you have different personalities and all of that, even if you're friends. But now having to stay in business and face these challenges, what are some of those challenges and how did you overcome them?
Man, it's really, it all boils down to what are you doing it for, and I guess we've been fortunate enough to understand the bigger picture, to say that it's not really about us, we are just loyal servants of the street culture. We are just loyal servants of the RUN JHB brand, So if RUN JHB wins, then we all win. So it's about playing the game, playing the ball, not the man. So in whatever we disagree with, I have to understand that it's not because he's trying to be right, always right or whatnot, but it's a matter of showing each other like the other side to the coin, to say that if we're not doing it this way, we can do it that way, and if we don't agree, we can have conversations back and forth, arguments and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we have to come up with one solid solution to say, okay, how are we moving forward from this? And sometimes if it's a concept that he might have came with or I come up with, we'll follow that concept, even if he doesn't fully agree with, then we do that particular thing, and if it wins, cool for us. If you don't win, we're learning something out of it. And he'd be like, okay, you see, you were so adamant that we go with your approach and we didn't work out. And this is the result. This is why I said we should not go with your approach, but rather let's go with my approach. And that's like vice versa, that's how it works.
As long as it's something that benefits the brand.
100%. At the end of the day, we're learning and we're growing as a brand, because that's the main man that we're serving. We're serving the RUN JHB courts and we're serving like the street culture, and it's about building up the brand and building up like the industry, It's not about us, it's about the brand reaching heights, and challenges will forever be there, but as long as if it gets to a point whereby the cohesiveness is no longer there, we cannot work together. I have to be man enough, or he has to be man enough to step down, or both of us have to be man enough to step down and let someone take it to like great heights that we can take it to, because it's really not about us but the brand, Yeah.
Okay, so what would your advice be to young and upcoming or aspiring fashion designers, taking into consideration the current state of the South African economy? Like, what would your advice be to them?
Don't do it. There's just too many of us.
But I mean, okay, honest advice. Just also be in a position to acknowledge what is just said, that there's too many of us. So you just don't want to come into an industry where there's just too many people in there and you're not bringing something that's different. You're just going to be one of us. You're going to struggle, If you don't have something that's unique, that's distinctive from the rest of the crowd, then, just sit down and do a lot of research. So my honest advice would be just sit down, do a lot of research, because whatever you might think would be suitable for whatever market might not be, and you don't want a case where we have another RUN JHB because you've just taken over our kind of aesthetic, so the best thing is that you do a lot of research, and also try and be distinct in whatever that you do, and whatever rules that are set in fashion and design, try and challenge those, but make sure whatever you design is wearable.
We come up with crazy concepts as designers,
Major misconceptions that designers would obviously make products that are only for designers, and the core of the business is that you sell to the ultimate customer, which is the people on the ground. So those people cannot look like us as designers. Yes, they want to be fashion forward, but just consider your kind of target market. Do a lot of research. Just find your niche and who is it that you're going to do the garments for. Because
how you get into them.
Because most often than not is that you can be a fashion designer, the next person can be a fashion designer, but we all think that we're just making clothes for everyone. No, you make clothes for a certain market, So just also try and identify your market, look at their style, look at what's missing within that specific market and bring that. So relevance is what we're trying to gun for, So just do a lot of research and put in a lot of effort,
But the most important one, after the research and all of that, just make sure you love the craft, you love the space, so that you can be able to sort of like stand the test of time, Because if you're just doing it because you came from a RUN JHB is doing it, you ain't gonna last, So it has to be something that you're really passionate about, but moreover passion. There has to be a need for your product, because this is a business at the end of the day. All the products that are out there, they're solving a certain problem for the user, So it has, even if it's clothing, it's whatever, it has to solve a problem that exists within our communities,
You spoke about passion. What drives you guys to wake up every day and go to work and do what you do? Are there any special people that I know you both have kids? Are there any
when she says we both have kids, each one has one. Not kids as in I have kids, he's got kids. No, each one has one kid.
Shout out to my boy, Tiamo Daddy's on TV.
So what drives you guys to wake up every day and go to work and do what you do?
You said I
besides
kids.
So yeah.
Let me tell you a funny story about myself, then Kim will jump in. Where I stay in my room, right?
Yeah.
You remember, like, when we started the interview, I told you about the t-shirt outline that we had that had a logo on it. It's stuck behind my door. I pasted it there. So when I wake up, the first thing I see is that logo and that t-shirt.
Yeah.
It reminds me that kick those blankets and go do it, you know, because as entrepreneurs, as designers, we always ask what's next, you know. So that's the motivation, because we're trying to reach heights, man. We're trying to take this thing across African borders. We're trying to build the biggest brand SA has ever seen, you know, in terms of streetwear. So that on its own is motivation, because we're not even halfway where we want to be, you know. It's only like the building phases that where we are currently, you know. And there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of substitutes for what we're doing, but we're trying to be the best at what we're doing. So there's no time for sleep if you're trying to, you know, build something that will live beyond yourself.
Yeah.
So that's motivation enough for me to sort of like wake up, and I love what I do, man. I love seeing something from a concept point of view or an idea point of view to actually seeing it through come to life, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just to also add on that, okay, so we started the business side, you know. I did marketing, he did retailing. So I mean, and we've been doing this for a while now. So since the time when we graduated, which was in 2012, 2013, we've been entertaining this whole growing a RUN JHB empire since then until now. So for us, there's no ways I can just decide not to wake up today or whatever, you know, because I've put in so much into what I do on a daily basis. So now it has to pay off. So it's a motivation for me to wake up every day, because now I've done this for the last 6 years. There's no ways I'm gonna sleep on the 7th year or the 8th year. So this is when it has to happen. What also motivates us to do better is that, I mean, we've done all these things that we've mentioned as our heights and highlights. We wanna outdo those. We wanna do better than that. So it also serves as a motivation. I mean, today we could, Obama could buy a tracksuit, you know.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a motivation tomorrow. Who do we find
That's
in the
bigger than
world?
Obama.
Yeah.
In the world than Obama, so that we can up that game. So whoever we do find that's bigger than Obama, we need to find someone else who's bigger than that
Yeah.
person.
So whenever you set
So
a
it's
goal,
just-
you set a new one once you reach that one.
Yeah, so it's
Every
just
finish line, it's the beginning of a new race, you know. So that's how it is, you know.
Yeah.
So you keep on running your laps, momentum. It has to take you through that. Because people that we wanted to be on our steeds, they've been on our steeds. So what? But we haven't reached the level that we want to be at, you know. So it certainly says to us, there's more that can be done, you know. So that's what we're trying to do more and build something that would exceed our expectations, you know. Yeah.
Celebrity crush.
TDK Makassette.
I have to think very hard about this.
No, come on. You have to think of your crush.
Again.
Oh my gosh. No.
Again.
3 items that you can't leave the house without.
I RUN JHB. I RUN JHB. And I RUN JHB.
King?
The shades.
Obviously the shades, yes.
And my RUN JHB, you know. I mean, the only thing that we wear is just a RUN JHB aside from the kicks for now. So yeah, I mean, there's no ways I can leave the house wearing anything else aside from a RUN JHB except if it's the shoes.
Okay.
So if you'd find me in jeans from Gupi Gupi or a t-shirt, kill me. I give you permission, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Choose between the two. Durban July or SA Fashion Week.
SA Fashion Week any given day for me.
Yeah, I mean, SA Fashion Week, please. Yes.
That's what we
That's
and we have to perform. That's what we play.
That's
the
what
biggest
we've
one.
always looked forward to. I mean, the Durban July is, I mean, everyone can do a Durban July.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about showcasing or whatever, but it's an event. It's a sports event that also celebrates fashion. You know? So it cannot be bigger than any event.
That's strictly about fashion. That's where we get to be crazy enough and be amongst like-minded people and see how insane we are, you know. And that's really a pleasure to be in that environment that celebrates how we think, you know, because we're sort of like left-brained, you know, and most of the population is right-brained. So to be in a space whereby we can celebrate it and we amongst people that love clothes and, you know, love making other people feel good and look good and give them a sense of identity through what they do, and we wouldn't say that for anything else. Fashion Week is like the biggest tournament of designers where we all go there just to play the game, you know, and yeah, that's why Fashion Week is of highest importance for us, you know, to be there and for it to grow. And I'd love to see like the market or the community being in a position to attend Fashion Weeks and being in a position to come through and see what we're showcasing, why we love Fashion Week, you know, so that maybe they can understand where we're coming from as designers, you know.
What do you guys think of the current stage of South African fashion? Where do you see it going maybe in the next 5 years? And what does fashion mean to you?
Okay, so fashion to me means I can express myself in a manner in which I can be distinct from the next person, you know, just because of the way I'm dressed. So it's an expression. It also just
Identity.
Yeah, it also means identity. What do you identify with? If I'm a Pantsuka from Soweto, that's gonna show in the manner in which I dress, you know. If
we rock up like this in the US, they see that these guys are from Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that sense of, and also for us, it serves as a vehicle to sort of like preserve our heritage and our cultures, because African culture has never been painted in a cool way, you know, and it's one the responsibility for us as African creatives to create that narrative, you know, to say that African culture is cool, it's fashionable, and you can identify with it, can be on a global stage, you know. So that's what it means for us, you know, to sort of like bring in the cultural element into our design, to show that we are proud of who we are proud of what we're bringing into the global fashion scene, because the fashion scene in terms of other cultures, it has an influx of that, you know, but where's the African narrative? It's Africa time right now, so it's up to us as Africans to come up with our own narrative of what's fashion, you know, the African way. So that will in turn for our kids to grow up knowing that it's cool to be Tsonga and show it through the clothes I wear. It's cool to be Zulu and show it through my own placebo, you know. We shouldn't be made to feel like I'm inferior because of your cultural background, you know. You should be proud and wear your you know, your scarf and
yeah. So is there any new range that you guys are currently working on, or something new that you've recently released?
We always working on something new. If there's one thing, is one thing that fuels us as a brand is the fact that we in a world where unique, distinct products are just very rare, and you find like limited options as far as that is concerned, because we live in a space where one person makes this and then the next person copies that. One person makes this, the next person copies that. So with us, we're always trying to prove. We from the first day we started out sketching and designing our garments, we always said we wanted to prove ourselves with the aesthetic, you know. So having said that, we are people that are always constantly working on new designs, constantly thinking about what's next, and we just choose not to look at what's out there I mean, as much as we want to keep up with the current trends, for us, we are ahead of the current trends. Then we have to come back to it and make sure that, okay, it's still aligned to what people find is normal, you know. So we are working on something that's new. Even now, we kind of feel like the people that follow our work, the people that know of our work, haven't really been introduced to the depth of the work that we have with the collections that we've released. So we obviously want to do like re-releases, but with that as well, we have so much that's coming up. We're looking to launch our new collections for September for summer spring 2019-2020. So that's coming up soon. And we also released some of our new collections for the winter, which, if people were watching the summers, was one of the summers, you know. Like Speedster and some other few people, you know. So yeah, we've dropped a few collections, latest collections, but now we're looking ahead. There's a few that we are dropping again in the next month or so.
I see that you guys brought me something, so I'm not gonna pay for this one, right? I'm not paying for this one. It's mine, and it's nice and pink, so I'm loving it. So can you talk me through this one?
Okay, so let me just unzip this so that the people at home or in front of their computer can have a look at this, you know. So this is like your two-piece vibes. So what we call this is, well, it's Tsonga inspired. As you can see, these are new age Tsonga patterns on it. So we decided to create something that we've never seen before.
Innovation.
Innovation, you know. People, when they see this, they think of like, is it like a rain suit, you know? So it wasn't necessarily for the rain, but I mean, it's a Tsonga rain suit nonetheless.
You'll be nice and fashionable in the rain, ladies.
Yeah, so this is your Tsonga patterns covered in like your plastic. So no one ever thought this would be possible to make, you know. So and here we are as a RUN JHB. We've just represented and presented this. As you can see, look at the back patterns. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you're steaming up in this, you also have an option of unzipping it. Just show them there.
Wow.
So to let a bit of air come in and breathe, you know. So the jacket also does the same, you know. If I can just show it to you on the sides, from the arm going all the way down, you can unzip it just to let the air come in, you know. And you can be as cool as us. So find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Cool in the rain.
Yeah,
thank you
just
so
walk
much
in
for
the rain.
joining us. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. God bless and goodbye.